everyone. My name is Liz, and I am an entrepreneur, which, as you all know, is French for I'm arrogant. No, I'm just, I've been an entrepreneur for 7 years. Very traditional story. I had a W-2 job, and I thought, you know what, I want to do more than this, and so I started my own 3D knit product development company called Knit It, and I did that for a few years, and then 4 years ago I had my first baby, who was a little Houdini, kept getting out of his swaddle, and I thought, you know, I could invent something that could solve this problem using the technology that I'm using every day to solve problems in office furniture, automotive, and healthcare. At the time, I was even doing compression garments for kids with lymphedema. So that's just a little brief bit of how I became an entrepreneur. And I'd like to get into a little more about TikTok and what it is, and paint a picture of like where it sits in the social media spectrum before I talk more about my product, because this presentation is not about Swaddolini, my product. It's about the journey that Swaddolini has taken and how TikTok has transformed it. Because basically the story is I had a great idea, I invented a good product. That R&D phase, I thought that would be the hardest part, but it wasn't. It turns out it was selling it. 3 years down the road, I was still losing money until TikTok, and it changed everything. So that's why I think, I might have some nuggets of value to offer. Please, disclaimer, keep in mind, like, what I've learned for me may not be something that can immediately work for you. So you kind of have to go on your own journey and figure out what is going to work for you and your business. So with that said, show of hands, who here has a product-based business? No, you do, 1, 2, 3. Okay, cool. Anyone service-based, and right, okay, cool. So there are going to be different tools available on TikTok, whether it's product or service. So I'll try to touch on those points. And Maya, you said you're already using TikTok. Is anyone else already using TikTok in their marketing strategy? Okay, all right, cool, awesome. So what do people know about TikTok right off the bat? Do you have anything you can say, or you just anyway, but yeah, because sometimes you hear like, oh, it's just for kids, like kids dancing. So what do you think of?
Another entertainment platform where people can spend time consuming content. Okay,
entertainment platform, consuming content. Anybody else? Yeah.
I know that my kids think that I could never learn how to do it.
Oh, you think your kids could never learn how to do it? Okay, awesome. Good. So, just a little bit about my first introduction to TikTok. A girlfriend of mine was trying to get me to learn the shuffle dance. I've never learned, I don't dance, so I never learned shuffle, but she kept trying to get me on TikTok. I downloaded it 3 times, deleted it 3 times. I thought it was so dumb. And then finally she was like, Liz, you gotta try it. You'd be great on it. And I'm thinking, whatever, okay. I'll interact with it. And within 5 minutes, it knew me better than I knew myself. And I got very addicted over Christmas break of 2020. And then 2021, I'm like, okay, New Year's resolution, no TikTok. And then I couldn't do it, so I made a business account so that I'd hate it, just like I hate Facebook and Instagram and Pinterest. And it kind of worked in that within a couple days, I had a video that amassed 1 million views. So it's a real Cinderella story, because up to that point, and I'll get into it later, I was selling like 30 units a month, and one day I sold 341 units. Yeah, and my glass slipper would have been my inventory because I had none. But anyway, so there's huge power here. So let's get into what is TikTok. So it started out actually in 2014 as Musical.ly, which I don't know, did any of you hear about that one? Yeah, so it was just for lip syncing and sharing short videos. TikTok bought it in 2017, and then it really became popular, definitely among Gen Z, sharing dance videos, and that's how TikTok's got known for that. But it even back then, it was working on becoming much more. And by 2019, it had amassed a lot of momentum. It had a lot of diverse users among a myriad of niches. So it was already it just was lacking the sheer volume of users. And what would have taken them years to do took them months because of the COVID-19 pandemic. They had everything in place for it to be successful, but because people were home now and needed a creative outlet, TikTok was right there for them. And that's when it skyrocketed, and I really feel like it started to transform the landscape of social media. And so let's take a look at that, because we need to understand how is TikTok different from the other social media platforms, so we know how to treat it differently. TikTok just built a better mousetrap. Like Jordan was saying, it's an entertainment platform for content consuming and content sharing. But it did it better. And some of the ways it did it better is that it made it way more creator friendly. All right, when you're trying to get videos up on YouTube, there's a lot of complexities to that, and especially when you're trying to monetize it on YouTube, you have to hook it up to your Google Ads. It's very complicated. TikTok makes it more simple, and especially Instagram is extremely complicated. You almost need to take a class on how to use it. TikTok is a lot more intuitive. TikTok's also created like a scrolling culture, and their FYP, their For You page, is curated in a way that goes beyond any other platform because its algorithm is simply built better. And then there are also way more exciting ways or engaging ways to engage on TikTok versus other platforms. So if we look at the timeline of things, Q1 2020, TikTok explodes, and they have amassed, they went from a few 100 million users to 1 billion in a year. And they did that very, very fast. So Instagram knew what was up. They rapidly created their Instagram Reels. They didn't put it in beta until late 2020, but they got that was their answer to what was happening on TikTok was Instagram Reels. And for me, I can tell you, when I had my first viral video on TikTok and then started posting on Instagram, I started getting like 10x the views because Instagram was jealous of TikTok. So this is, if you make it on TikTok, you can make it on these platforms too, even if you have no prior success with them. But they're all desperate for that TikTok engagement. Pinterest idea pins also came out in 2021 to compete with Instagram Reels and the way the TikTok scrolling culture works. So they're basically just different words for the same thing. And Instagram Reel is pretty much the same thing as an idea pin. There are a lot of social media marketing experts on TikTok and YouTube and all sorts of platforms that can give you a ton more information on this, and maybe their tips will work for you, maybe they won't. I'm not going to get into that minutia, but there's definitely a lot more resources out there to teach you maybe the slight nuances of how to present your content differently on each app. I pretty much will upload a video to TikTok and then the same thing to an Instagram Reel, a pin, an idea pin, and YouTube Shorts. I might make it shorter. Yes.
Would you say then you would suggest starting with one platform and just like delving into that?
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
I definitely start with TikTok. Well, for me, sorry. And I should, I was too quick to say, because everyone does things differently. But what I have seen is that, especially for influencers and big brands that have made it on Instagram, very hard to make it on TikTok because of how the algorithm rewards content. Instagram and YouTube, and Pinterest reward curated perfect content. TikTok rewards engaging content that sparks an emotion, content that is raw and relatable. So that is a key difference. So for me, it worked very well to start on TikTok because I have been waiting for authenticity to become a trend my whole life. I wear my heart on my sleeve. I'm a very raw person. So if this works, TikTok is effortless for me. And so that's how I've been able to leverage all of these. Also, later in 2021, YouTube Shorts came out in beta. I actually was able to participate in it when it was beta because I follow a bunch of marketers on TikTok who told me about it. I immediately went on YouTube and I posted my first viral video up there, and it now has even more views on YouTube Shorts than on TikTok. So it's pretty cool. I will say way fewer sales to view ratio on YouTube Shorts for me, but it could just be I haven't really devoted enough attention to this. But you know, we only just started 2022, so this is all pretty recent, and it's pretty interesting to see how TikTok has been leading the pack. So a little bit about me. This is my product. I have a baby wearing it, and I told you I didn't want to talk too much about this. So what I'm going to do is just show you a video, a TikTok that got almost 4 million views. I'm going to just pause it real quick.
I would never swaddle my baby. They look trapped and they can't move their arms. I hear this a lot, but the reason we swaddle, whether you're using your brute force to wrap the baby or Velcro pinning their arms down, it's so they don't wake themselves up when they experience the very natural Moro reflex. That's typically the culprit for them waking up. But as you can see, this swaddle just goes on and off like a sock. They have a nice hug from that compression therapy, and the best part, they can still move and wiggle around, so there's no restriction of movement.
And you know, if you heard me in that video, that's basically the story of, you know, how I really got started. You know, I made a prototype, put it on my baby, and it worked. And so I've had the privilege of doing that for others. And when I launched, though, this is what my marketing looked like. So my marketing was pretty bad. I called it Houdini because I had a baby who would escape all of his swaddles, but Patagonia had a jacket called Houdini and told me I couldn't use it. But you know what? It was okay because it gave me an opportunity to rebrand, and I worked with a special company called Dexia in Grand Rapids, and they gave me a litany of questions to ask in like a SurveyMonkey survey platform to get to the root of, you know, what buzzwords do I need to be using in my marketing? And what I found was that escape proof, even though that's true, it has a negative connotation in people's minds. And you don't want people thinking of like an old magician drowning, or there's also a method of swaddling that is bad for hip dysplasia, and mine is like the total opposite of that. So they redid my brand architecture to this. So even though I did this well before I knew about TikTok. So even though it looked pretty and I finally had determined, okay, this is how I need to communicate my product to my customers, soft and stretchy, that's how I'm gonna differentiate myself. This still did not drive sales. Having beautiful brand architecture did not drive sales. It just put me in a really great position for when those sales came, and gave my customers the feeling that that they needed. So going back now to when I first invented this product, I spent a year in the R&D phase where I was just, you know, trying it on every baby I could get my hands on, testing it at world-class third-party textile laboratories, and then finally getting to launch. I launched at a baby show, so I was getting face-to-face engagement with people who were touching and feeling my product, and they loved it. And I thought, oh, I'm onto something. Sold them. I'd get positive feedback from those people, so I'd get enough to think, okay, I'm onto something, let's keep going. But having a product, everyone says, oh, if you're gonna make it, you need big box retail. So I went chasing after Walmart and Bye Bye Baby and QVC and HSN and Zulily, and I succeeded. I got into all those stores, but only online. And when in the case of QVC and HSN, they wouldn't give me airtime. In the case of Bye Bye Baby, they wouldn't give me shelf space until I proved myself in online sales. So I had a huge chicken or egg problem. Not just that, they set me up with huge EDI fees. Basically, even like I'd have to pay $1,000+ a month for the privilege of when they make a PO, it has to go through a third-party system. Basically, it's ridiculous. Way higher insurance for for what I needed given my exposure. And that amounted to an extra $10K a year or more. They wouldn't buy in minimums. They were not buying in bulk. You think, oh, these big companies are going to buy in bulk. No, they're not. Drop shipping. QVC and HSN and Zulily made me drop ship. No. So not only that, there was no information or control over returns, no control over customer service, and part of my brand DNA is like customer service and quality. So that was just not working for me. And for a lot of those reasons, also Amazon did not work for me. People go on Amazon to find something that they already know, that they already trust. And especially if you have invented a product that is both new and innovative, it's gonna be really hard to sell. Really, really hard to sell. And that's why the only thing for me that did work were baby shows, where I was in person, sharing my story face to face with someone who can touch and feel my product. And now, so this is a huge problem, right? September of 2020, I decided to pull the plug from all the business I was doing with all those big box, big name brands. And just sell on my website and do baby shows. And I put this quote from Franklin Roosevelt up there because it's great. Do something. If it works, do more of it. If it doesn't, do something else. And so that's what I did. I just pulled the plug on everything and just started selling on my website to the tune of maybe 20, 30 units a month. And it was, it was really disheartening. So fortunately at that time I had a full-time W-2 job. But I really felt like, I gave this my best shot and it just didn't work, I basically had like my Swaddolini company on life support. So the big problem for me at that moment was, how do I capture the face-to-face feeling and give it to a digital context where you're selling direct to consumer online? That is where TikTok came in. So going back to my Cinderella day, my friend, told me to get on TikTok. I did. I needed to get off it, so I made a business account. You can see I didn't even know how to post a vertical video. My first video was horizontal with text on it. This looks horrible. But what I noticed, now you'll see these views are high. That's because of this video. When I first posted it, after a couple hours, I noticed it had 500 views. This was significant to me because I had Instagram Reels at that point that had not amassed 500 views over 2 years. They typically get about 200. So I got 500 in 2 hours. And so I knew this was good. So these videos were from like day one. So I was really excited. I was making, and so I kept posting more. And then the next day I posted more. And then I realized there was one question that kept getting asked. How do you put this on? And I dug deep into my camera roll, because these are videos that I took for, like, I was trying to get on Shark Tank. It didn't work out, whatever, don't need it. And so this was my second baby that I took a bunch of footage for that. but this is from my second baby when he was 6 weeks old. It was when he, you know what, I'll play the video. My sister took it. It's just me putting on the swaddle. And this kind of goes against every, hold on, let me push it back. Yeah, so I'm stretching it out. Yeah. So I'm just putting the product on the consumer. And there's nothing special about this video. There's nothing special about the audio, and it was 60 seconds, which is really long. Like if you're setting out to get viral, a marketer expert might say, oh, do 7-second videos and show your face, and this is just not my face. It's just a video of someone putting a swaddle on their kid. So that's the video that got 1 million views in one day. And it was really exciting because I posted it a Friday night, and right before I went to bed, I had like 30 some orders. And I was like, oh my gosh, this was just in a few hours. Like, this is what I get in a month, like a good month. And then I woke up the next day to hundreds. And then by Monday, I had a full-time employee in place through the network of my mom. My mom knew someone who had a kid, and I'm like, oh my God, thank goodness. And she turned out to be great. So I got to work on doing that. And I actually still kept my W-2 job for like a year and a half after this. It was crazy. Crazy time. So going back to TikTok. So a few other things I want to highlight here. So it got to 12 million over the course of a month. And so I think I mentioned I sold 341 units in one day. I think I sold a little over 800 by the end of the month. But I had to really be on my email game because there are some people who are going to be waiting 4 weeks. I did catch up by 4 weeks, even from zero inventory. So that additive manufacturing has really saved me there. But I, as you can see, all these videos I posted after, very low views. And one reason for this is it's my face. I'll get to that later. But like TikTok doesn't like my face, which is fine. But you just need to like kind of pay attention to things like this to know what works and what doesn't work. But yeah, I'm not on TikTok to get me famous. I'm on TikTok to get my product famous. So yeah, so this is what my TikTok looks like now. Oh, let me put it back in slideshow mode. Okay, so I just took these screenshots like last night. I do get to pin some of my favorite. I don't have the first viral one pinned. These are like just ones that I like. But I have had several videos that have had multiple millions of views, which is really great. My Swaddlini hashtag has over 54 million views now. So it's been only 5 quarters. So now what you'll see, these are videos just from like the past month, and almost everything is over 10,000, between 10,000 and I think the highest one here is 426,000. But one thing I wanted to highlight as well is like, you see my face is not in any of these. No faces, only cute babies. Only cute babies. And that is what, I mean, I'm selling a baby product, so that makes sense. But sometimes I've seen people who, you know, if they're selling artwork, you know, their face isn't gonna sell their artwork. The process of making it, people love. People love watching people make art on TikTok. So like, that's one example. You make furniture, I bet a process video would be awesome. So
I've never done that, but it makes sense.
Yeah. So, and then this is where like engage with TikTok and find people who are doing a similar thing to you. Because it may be that there's no one. I'm really fortunate there's no one on TikTok that's a competitor of mine that's doing this well. So that feels pretty good. Like, I have a competitor that makes $30 million a year, and their TikTok sucks. So it's kind of cool. So yeah, it's really like, the poor man gets to be king on TikTok. It's very exciting. And the people who engage love it. They love a good rags to riches, like, success story. So, I feel like there was something else I'm going to say here, but if I think of it, I'll come back. Yeah, so how can you use TikTok to drive sales? So the first step is creating, because you won't be able to assess what works and what doesn't if you don't have a net of content to do that. And speaking of a net of content, one of the things that has really served me well, like as I'm trying to figure out what works and what doesn't, is when right now I'm trying to catch up to inventory. I had a viral video in late January, and January was already a good month. So I'm trying to catch up. I'm actually putting the brakes on my marketing. But because I have a net of content to catch me, I'm still making sales, and I'm not posting at all. I'm not posting 3 times a day. I'm not even posting 1 time a day. I'm posting like maybe 3 times a week to just keep it alive. And yeah, I'll get to why that's good and bad in a minute. But basically, you have to create in order to have that amount of content to catch you and to teach you what you're doing right and wrong. So almost all my content is original. However, I do some like stitches and duets and stuff like that, but mostly it's just my videos I create on my phone. Video responses, this is great. If someone comments like, oh, where did you get that? You can do a video response, like I made it, and you can show how you made it, and you can answer that however you want. Or they can say, oh, can my baby wear this when they're rolling over? Practical questions, and you can answer it with a video and make it fun and engaging. So, and I've had several of my viral videos are video responses. And then there are also trends. Trends don't work for me. That doesn't mean they won't work for you. Do you know what I mean by trending sound? Or some of you, if you're not on TikTok, kind of like,
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. There was this one trend that I thought would work well for me. It was like, I'm a potato. I don't know. So, alright, someone knows what Jackie knows what I'm talking. So I just put like a cute picture of a baby swinging a swaddling. I'm a potato, and it got like 500,000 views. Not many sales. Like typically on a video that was answering a question or providing value, I would have seen a massive uptick in sales with 500,000 views, but not the case on trend videos for me. And then engaging. There's so many different ways to engage. You can obviously answer the comments with just text, or instead of video, you can do lives. That's awesome. When I went viral, that's one thing I did because I knew I didn't have time to post. I put my live on while I fulfilled product at night, and talked to customers that way, and they just loved it. Stitches. So stitches, like I stitched this one guy. It was another small business owner. He's like, hey, if you don't get your product in 2 days, just know we're not Amazon. We don't have thousands of employees working every day. We just have Doug. And you see this guy in glasses giving a thumbs up. And so like I would stitch that, showing me and how it's just me doing all these things. So, and those are super fun. Or sometimes I duet something more related to, like maybe someone's frustrated because their baby's not sleeping. Maybe I duet that. So, or stitch that.
Like what a stitch and a duet is.
Okay, oh shoot, I should have so a stitch is when, let's say for me, I'm looking at a video of a mom trying to swaddle her baby, and it's just really difficult, and he keeps getting out of it. You get to choose 5 seconds of that video, and then that's what it opens with. So when someone sees your video, they're gonna see 5 seconds of their video, and then your response. And so maybe your response, you can upload a video of a baby in the swaddlini, or Maya, in your case, like if someone has a picture of like a table that I don't know that they just hate and they're ranting about it, that could be the first 5 seconds, and then your response is, well, look at this, look, isn't this nice? So and explain why. So that's a stitch, and then a duet is when your video and the video is going on simultaneously in the same frame. So yeah.
This is what I was majorly confused about when I first started using TikTok. How do you do sound with stitches and duets?
Oh yeah, that has become tricky. So you can actually download the video first, but do it with the watermark. I don't know if you've heard of the trick. There is a way to download TikTok videos without the watermark, but only do that for your own, for ethic reasons. So if you download that one and then go into an app like Splice, then you can choose 5 seconds and just make it your own, you know. So I would do it that way. I would do it that way because within the app, sometimes they limit you with things, and especially if you're a business account, they will limit, you know, what trending sounds you can use, and what sounds in general you're able to use, but you get to have a link in your bio for free, and that is, that's how I drive sales. So that's good. Also, there are rumors that there's a Shopify button in beta right now, which would enable everyone to have their Shopify button in every single post. So I'm currently moving my website to Shopify for this reason, in hopes that that will happen soon. This might answer some more of your questions. So how to use it. TikTok actually has a pretty robust platform for small businesses. And their biggest advice, like TikTok wants you to be successful, because if you're successful, then they're successful. And they say, don't make ads, make TikToks. And that's one reason why TikTok is so captivating, because you often don't even know you're seeing an ad. And it's really cool. Oh, actually, you were talking about the very crunchy, the really very crunchy person. There's this mom who does satirical content on mom crunchiness culture, and it's very funny, but also people are like, is this some hidden essential oils MLM way to sell people on it? And it could be like, who knows. It has since been debunked, like that's not it, but she does seem to talk a lot about essential oils, so you never know. But that's the thing with TikTok. If you're advertising right, people won't know. Half the people that follow me probably don't even know that I'm making my own product. They probably just think I'm an influencer or something. Even brands reach out to me asking like, oh, can you endorse our product? I'm like, I'm not an influencer. So that's good. That's what you want. You want people, like, so some of the people will really, really engage and they'll with you, and they'll know you and your story, and other people will just think you're an influencer sharing value. So and that's good. So some of the tools I do use Canva so that my MailChimp emails look better, but I don't like it. But I think it has potential. Maybe one day it will be better. So don't like that. MailChimp's good if you have a lot of subscribers. And these two apps are my favorite apps for TikTok. I love them. Splice is really easy to use for video editing. The only thing is that when you do your videos in Splice, it may be when you upload them to TikTok, you have to do it via green screen, and it might distort the sound. My most recent viral video has over 9 million views. The distorted sound did not affect its virality. And then captions this is so amazing. It's $3 a week. Highly recommend. I think this is like $10 a month or something. But the captions app, once you have downloaded your video from Splice, you just upload it to captions, and it will put in just those beautiful white letters that appear as you're talking. So highly recommend those two. Okay, so what works for me, we talked a little bit about cute babies. Also, a lot of people have commented on my voice, so, all those years in theater really paid off for me. But I did want to touch on it because I do think that is part of how many of my videos have gone viral. So if you or someone on your team has a really great speaking voice, definitely use that. Video comment responses, and this is a big one, controversy. Controversy is a good thing on TikTok, especially when you're starting out. All right, when I started out, I didn't delete any comment unless there was a racist comment, and you think, how is Baby Swaddle racist? I have had, unfortunately, racist comments appear, and I will delete those. That's where I draw the line. I will let people call me a baby torturer. I will let people say that what I do is child abuse, and I love it. But it sparks a conversation, and we're on TikTok to engage. And you know, and when people engage, the video gets sent out to more people. So controversy can be in your can be very much in your favor. Now, as I'm more established, I will admit I have a comment filter on. And still, I had my comment filter on a few days before I posted my most recent viral video in January. It went viral January 21. It now has over 9 million views. And I didn't allow anyone to say the name of my competitors. Even if they're saying something good about me, if they're like, oh, I hated the zippity zip and the halo and the love to dream, but this is great. I don't want the word hate. I don't want my competitors' names in there at all. So I will filter those out. And even if it's a positive comment for me, I still filter out that language. So, and I have started filtering out the child abuse and torture as well. But you know, for the beginning, when you're trying to get some brand awareness, definitely don't shy. Like if someone says you're a terrible person and ugly and why are you doing this? You're wasting your life. Like, you know what? Embrace that. Embrace that. Yeah. So what does not work for Swaddle-Mini? For me, trends, my face, bad lighting, of course. Anytime I post a video that's dark, and I try not to do that, but like lighting is one of those marketing tips you hear everywhere, but it is worth repeating. So posting too much. TikTok, you can't really post too much, which is really fun because it's just the net is so wide. Instagram, you can. So I will lose followers if I post 3 times a day on Instagram. I will post a maximum of once a day. But like I said, right now I'm posting just a handful of times a week. And the reason is because Instagram, Facebook, and of course when you post on Instagram, it should be connected to your Facebook, so post on Facebook too. There are some people still on Facebook, believe it or not. It's crazy, but yeah, the people who are on those platforms, they're there for family and friends. They're not there to engage with brands, so you don't want to like shove your brand down their throat, sort of thing. Whereas TikTok, it's a little bit different. Yeah. Oh, and then this is another fun graph. So this was my Q1 unit sales 2021, and this is Q1 2022 unit sales. So I've obviously, you know, I've been able to pay attention to what works and what doesn't enough to triple. Even from like a Q1 that was really good for me at that time. Okay, so there are a few different ways to make money on TikTok. So as a product-based business, I use it to drive traffic to my website. I know plenty of creators who have service-based businesses that use it for the same thing, direct people to a link in their bio, which by the way, do not write the words link in bio. It won't show up. So find a creative way of saying that. And so yeah, you have to create a business account to do that, to add a link in your profile. Definitely start posting 3 times a day. The discoverable, educational, and call to action content. So what I mean by that is discoverable, like something new and different. Maybe it's like for me, a discoverable content would be like coming into a nursery to see the baby sleeping in the swaddle. And it's like, okay, this is something new. Where are we going? We're opening a door. There's a baby. Like, you know, and it's something a little interesting, entertaining. And then educational. So answering questions, like video responses, or just talking about, you know, maybe how your product is ethically made, what value you're providing. And then call to action, like why, you know, what, I guess I've never really told someone to buy my product, but a call to action could be just maybe in relationship to swaddling. Like I have a bunch of stuff on my hashtag is why swaddle, you know, so people who are looking for how to swaddle might find that and then learn, okay, this is why swaddling is important. And that also, these can all be mixed up, like that can also be educational, but you know, the why is real. It's basically the why. So in my case, if your baby is getting out of their swaddle at night, they're waking up from the moral reflex, let them be soothed and in a swaddle. So that is tight around the chest, loose around the hips. So it's also, I guess be careful with that one because you don't want it to be too salesy because you want to make ads. You don't want to make ads, you want to make TikToks. And then make your own hashtag. I'm going to get more into that in a second. And interact with your following. Yes, and this goes for not just viral videos, but even more importantly, not viral videos. Because I had a month, actually my April of last year was a really slow month, but I made just as much, almost just as many sales as in January. And that was because I was really speaking to my following and nurturing that community that I was building on TikTok. So you don't need a viral video to make sales if you're creating content that is being consumed by your base. And then, when you can go live on TikTok once you have amassed 1,000 followers, and people can actually give you gifts. And so I was doing like a weekly giveaway. I want to get back to that, but people will give me gifts on it. It's just so crazy. I don't know why. I'm like selling something. But so if you are a service-based business and you're providing value, definitely, I could see entrepreneurs giving you gifts in a TikTok live. Yeah. And then of course there's the creator fund. I make about $300 a month from it, but hey, that's not bad. Like, I'm getting paid to create ads for my product. Like, to me it doesn't make sense. And I even tried to pay TikTok money. I bought $100 of TikTok currency. It's still sitting in there unused because they won't let me put a baby in an ad. It's child exploitation. So it's just, no, so if you're doing anything with like babies or guns or something, like you probably won't be able to make an official ad on TikTok. And then of course you can spend money with influencers. Just quick story on influencers. They're called content creators now. Because influencers now has a negative connotation to it. But when I started, even before I launched my product, I engaged with a bunch of mom influencers, bloggers, Instagram people, and spent thousands of dollars and got nowhere. I was so disappointed. I was trying to drive traffic to my Kickstarter at the time, which did not get funded. And I was like, okay, this was such a waste of my time. What I didn't realize is what I was doing was building brand awareness. And so when I started to learn how to advertise my product correctly, people would look it up and they'd see Swaddolini on those blogs. They'd see that it's out there, and or Houdini, as it was back then. So those things are good. Just know if you're doing business with a blogger or an influencer or a content creator, that is brand awareness. That is not going to drive sales necessarily. So just manage your expectations. And on TikTok, you can and Instagram influencers too, you can negotiate. So there's a mom named Bailey on TikTok who has like 7 million followers. And you follow her, Jackie?
She's on Instagram too.
She's on Instagram with like 150K or so. So her agent told me that it was $10,000 for a TikTok video, and I said, I'll give you $1,000 free product, and she said yes. So she hasn't had her baby yet, but I think it's coming soon, so that's exciting. Okay, so when you're building your hashtag, how do you do that? This is a fun resource. Have you guys heard of Answer the Public? Okay, cool. So basically, for me, my product is a baby swaddle, so I'll type in the word swaddle, and it'll show me all the most popular Google search terms related to that word. Yes.
Where is this?
Where is it?
I must know.
Okay, it's Answer the Public. It's just Answer the Public.
App or is it,
No, it's just website. You get 3 free searches a day, and then if you want to do like way more than that, you there's like a subscription fee.
Okay.
Yeah, and so this is really cool. So there's a lot of like, why swaddle? Like, what's the purpose behind it? And so I use this hashtag in almost all of my videos, why swaddle. And so when you type in this phrase, why swaddle, in TikTok, of the top 9, I'm in the top 7. I'm in 7 of the top 9. that show up when you enter that, and that's what you want. So, yeah.
So you picked Why Swaddle from that list?
Yeah, I did. I picked Why Swaddle, and then I could also pick a different one and build on that, but for me, I found that to be the most relevant, and it certainly has been. That's the most searchable, because a lot of, I don't just look at this, I cross-reference it with what are my most common questions in my comment section on my videos, and a lot of people don't know about swaddling. So, which is weird, because like, in the hospital, like they're teaching you how to do it, but yeah, if you're not at that point in life, or maybe you're so far past it you don't even remember. Like I've had people who are grandmas who, I don't know if they've forgotten swaddling or not, but they have this like visceral reaction to it. They don't like it. They think we're strangling our babies or something, and like so there's a bit of a hurdle to get over in that that consciousness of the consumer. So there are some pros and cons of promoting your business product on TikTok. The pros, obviously sales, like who doesn't want that? And their international brand awareness. TikTok sends your videos out to everybody, which is really cool. And I do ship internationally, but we'll get to that in a sec. Free target marketing. All right, so I can hashtag, baby shower gift idea, and it's gonna, or pregnant 2022, like it's gonna get to where it needs to go, which is really exciting. And there are a lot of other tips and tricks to hashtagging that you can learn from marketers on TikTok. Like they might say, oh, definitely make sure you have at least 2 hashtags that are under 1 million views so it doesn't get lost in the sauce. So there are tips like that out there. You get instant feedback. So you get to cast that net out wide, and people will get back to you on like whether or not that color is cool, or like for this rainbow print, I did just 20 to start to get a feedback of like, wow, do people like it? People did like it, and I was like, thank goodness, because I can't get color yarn right now that's recycled because of the supply chain crisis, and so I have this screen printed locally at Good Ink, which they do the Michigan awesome stuff. Anyway, and then you also get free brand ambassadors, because if you're telling your story and engaging with your audience, you are going to come away with people who are just as excited about your brand as you are, and they're going to tell all their friends. And then the best part about TikTok, well, right under sales, competitive digital thumbprint. The reason I'm making the sales that I'm making is because people will see my TikTok, they click on my profile, they click on my link. Nobody else can sell even if someone managed to make my product exactly the way that it is, how would they do that if they don't have the platform and the digital thumbprint that I have? So that is pretty great. The cons are that with the sales are being spiky depending on views, I don't really have control over it. And so it's hard to plan for, it's impossible to plan for, because luck does have a lot to do with it. And then of course, yes, I have international brand awareness, which can also lead to international disappointment if shipping is too expensive or too long, or it gets returned for some reason. So I've had a lot of issues there, which are fixable, but it's still, it can be a short-term to long-term problem. And then, marketing success cannot be planned. And then keeping up with the demand once you get those sales. So my advice there is to, when you're starting out, keep your number of SKUs low. My number of SKUs has always been low, and I think that's been my saving grace through all the ups and downs I've had. Okay, so getting to the end. So some of the key takeaways that may or may not help you. Controversy can equal success, okay? So keep that in mind. High views do not necessarily equal sales, and low views do not necessarily equal failure, because that could be building your brand. Be authentic and engaging, tell a story, and offer value. So if you can remember anything, those are my takeaways. So go post to TikTok. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Yeah. Do you guys have any questions? Yeah.
got a few. I was wondering, do you know if hashtags are limited in number?
I think that not in number, but there's a limit to how many characters you can put in your description. But then you could put more in the comments.
Okay. And
Yeah.
Back to like the beginning,
Yeah.
you know, when you're creating the videos, do you have like taglines that you put on there or do you title the videos?
Oh yes, yeah. Let me go back to some screenshots I took. Yeah. So I always title them so they're easy to find, and then also I can categorize them. So Why Swaddle is its own category. Customer feedback, the like diaper flat, like common product questions are actual categories where I can before I post a video, I can put it in a category. After it's posted, I can assign it to one of those categories, so consumers can easily find it.
Okay.
Yeah, and they can email you. So this is my profile. When you see my video and click on my my face, you see, or the baby, you're here, and I just have my tagline, the soft and stretchy swaddle, my website, email, and you can ask me a question as well there.
So basically how someone orders, okay, so, or purchases your product, it's not on TikTok,
No.
it's a link to your website?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, I know Instagram I think has a shop or something. I haven't even figured that out yet. But
Yeah, if you're on Spotify, it's gonna be, or sorry,
Shopify,
Shopify's
I
gonna
do
be
that all the time.
super helpful
yeah.
for Instagram. So you can just
Oh,
like
okay.
it will pull your
Good.
inventory.
I'm not gonna do it until I launch that then.
Yeah.
I want to do. My goal was to do that before this baby comes.
Yeah, and a lot of this stuff, you have great answers, but a lot of like things like that, I just YouTube when I used to
Yeah.
have, like when I used to do Instagram a lot too.
Yeah, but
The
TikTok
question.
should like you can ask me any kind of questions. Like it's the but yeah, YouTube's good. But also on TikTok they have a business hub as well that has some pretty good resources. Like if they want TikTok wants you to be successful. They have a lot of good information out there.
Liz,
Yeah.
how long is your average video length?
How long is my average what?
Video length or TikTok?
Oh yeah. Ooh, average video length. I wonder if that's something I'd call up in my analytics. But I'd say probably 30 seconds.
So it's very short.
Yeah, 30, 40 seconds. Yeah, I guess very short. I mean, I have posted some videos longer than a minute. Not many. I typically keep them under a minute. And yeah, but I'd say half and half, under 30 and over 30. Between like 10 seconds and 30 seconds, and then between 30 seconds and 60 seconds is probably half and half. Yeah. But I actually I should look that up because that's a good question. Yeah.
Any other questions?
Yes, I'm curious also, and I can probably Google it and find the answer, but since you're
Yeah.
answering questions. The comment filter, how
Yeah.
how do those work? Like, so do
Actually,
you-
yeah, I cannot remember. I can't remember. I set up these things and I don't remember how I did it. I think I heard about it on from one of the marketer people on TikTok and then Googled it actually. Yeah. So I can't remember. It's somewhere in your settings. Like you go to settings and then
Okay.
and there's
But it
so-
completely takes
Yeah.
those comments out of the. I'm just.
yeah.
curious,
So
like,
it'll take you to a page where you can just like basically comma separate words and phrases that you don't want. So for instance, like the word hate for me is in there. And then because even if someone's like, oh, my baby hated swaddles, but they loved the swaddling, I don't want that comment on there because of the word hate. Just say it's
So
like
does it
negative.
remove the whole comment?
Oh yes,
from-
it's sorry. Oh yeah, it removes the whole comment,
okay.
and then no. But to answer
I
your
didn't
question,
know if it was like a.
how do you how do you
Makes sense.
know?
Yeah.
Because you can filter it. Well, what if they filtered out a comment and you're like, oh, actually that one's okay. So when you go to a post, you go all the way down to the bottom of the comment section, and then you can review filtered comments, and then decide, okay, do I want to just delete that, or do I want to put it up there?
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
And I wanted to say first, thank you so much. This has been extremely informative. I mean,
Aw.
you know, a lot
Aw.
of good information
Oh, thank you.
that we can all learn based on your success and failures and, you know.
Well, thank you. Yeah,
So-
I just kind of put it together. It's not like the prettiest presentation, but I just wanted to get that information out there because this is my little nugget, my little golden nugget that I have to share.
Yeah.
So
And
thank
I
you.
didn't mean to say failures, I just
No,
meant to
no,
say
no,
what
failures is
didn't
good.
work and
I
what
like, yeah. I put the word failure out there, so it's fine. It's fine. And I that is what it's all about. Like, yeah, thank you.
So to get
Yeah.
started, let's say you wanna start,
Yeah.
should you like create some content, like have like
A pool of
how
oh
many,
yeah.
so you can, like I have some girlfriends who,
Yeah.
like Fridays will be their, like, day to create,
Mhm.
and then they'll just like upload it, like every day.
Oh,
their new
they're
video.
so organized. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So
not-
when I when I started, I did have a pool of content to pull from, but it wasn't like ready to go. Like even the video that went viral, I still had to clip it from a video that was originally 2.5 minutes, or trim it rather. But I had a bunch of videos that I had been taking over the past several years of me putting swaddles on babies. So a lot of the videos that I posted for my first few months were videos I took over the past 4 years. And yeah, so there's that, and then but these days I'll just pull videos that I've taken in the past year or past 6 months, and I'll just sometimes I'll use the same videos I posted before, but maybe a different part of it, and maybe I'll do a different voiceover, answer a different question. You can use the same video multiple times and across multiple platforms.
In the caption app.
Yeah.
You would say like that's a.
I think it's a must just because, you know, the consumers might not always have the ability to scroll with audio on, and not only that, but people also want to be inclusive. And I've even seen creators get hate for not doing it because you're not inclusive. Like, so there's that aspect as well. And if you don't want to use that there's a free caption option within TikTok. It's just like a black box. And what's cool about that is the consumer, if they don't want to see it, they can hold it and then choose not to see that black box with the words in it.
What about music? Like
Oh
with
yeah.
IG, like there's some like pick songs that are either trending or not trending. Like, do you have any suggestions? or
Yeah.
tips on that?
So I've not done that because I found that trends don't work for me.
Okay.
Sometimes if I feel like it would enhance my video, I do that. But in the videos that have gone mega viral, they've been 100% original sound. Mm-hmm. For me, for me, that's what I see. Yeah. Yeah. Any other questions? No? Well, I'm excited. Well, I think you can get my email from Amanda or whatever if you want to
Yeah,
reach out and ask me.
And we've recorded this,
Yeah.
as you can see.
Okay.
Once we edit it, we